Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zero from TechDragon.info. Info. And today we're taking a look at Steel Ocean. This is a pretty new game. It has not been out for that long. It is available on Steam, free to play, and it resembles a certain other game quite a bit. I don't remember what game off the top of my head. It's some sort of naval game, something with warships somewhere. Yeah. This game, I don't know if they're trying to hide the fact that they've been copying World of Warships massively or not, but in a lot of ways they have been copying the game massively. User interface wise, the garage, or better the harbor, I guess would be a better word. It's almost a one-on-one copy. It's pretty bad. So, what does this game have to offer? Well, besides the whole copying World of Warships for a big part, they do have some other things to offer. The controls work just a little bit differently, and I do have some issue with the controls. We're currently looking at some Tier 1 gameplay here of the British Tier 1. And the issues I have with the controls right now, it might just be my lag to the US server or their servers in general, or I don't know, but sometimes it doesn't register my input. And I've tried two different keyboards as well. I've tried my gamepad as well as my keyboard, so it doesn't seem to be on my end so much. I'm still trying to figure out the lead in this game. There's no lead indicator or anything, so you're gonna have to eyeball it. So very much trying to figure out. Okay, there we go. That was one hit. What's this circle? Oh, we're in the cap circle. So the tier 1s already get torpedoes. Yep, tier 1s with torpedoes. So this is my absolute first ever game. I did one part of the tutorial and that was it. The steering, I don't know. You have to hold down W if you want to go anywhere. Oh, ramming Mizu here. I was in here with Mizu, in case you didn't see his name in the playlist there. Trying to shoot torpedoes, horribly bad as you can see. Oh, just barely went behind them. Now this view I think is a little bit weird. If you zoom into that view, you get a kind of top-down view even though I'm right next to him. Like, I don't want a top-down view. So if you look at the bottom left corner, you'll see the ship and its details, you know, the damage and all that. And just off to the right of that, you see your ammunition choices and your guns. In this case, I don't have any guns to switch to, but later on my battleship, I have a tier 5 battleship, premium. Nope, I didn't buy it. No, I didn't get it. Well, I got it, but you actually get it for free if you download the DLC. Now, one thing to note, I won't go into too much details, but when you pick the thing up, and there you go, the torpedoes. Am I going to hit anything? Probably not. When you pick up the reward ship, I'm waiting for me to get past here so I can start focusing on this guy. When you pick it up and you have to go into your menu and stuff, it's really complicated really, but be very careful to right click on the item and then click use, not left click. If you left click it, you sell it. A lot of people have been selling the thing on accident. Like, even there's GM messages in the game that will tell you, like, if you sold it, post here and here, because, so yeah, everybody's on accident selling the dang thing. It's terrible the way they did that. Incoming torpedoes, trying to avoid them, and, oh, nope. So, moving up, next game here, second game I played. We're on the same map. It seems the low tiers only get the same map, so. And I am fuzzing with my settings and trying some things here. My gamepad is not helping. It gets switching to a different profile, and which means that the number 1 key is actually escape rather than being number 1. So yeah, you'll see the menu flash up a couple of times here and there because I'm pressing the dang button, expecting it to be number 1, but it's not. So, this is actually quite an action-packed game. There was a lot going on, and I was very confused as to where I was, trying to put some shells in on the move. Not the most accurate when you're moving. You'll have to sit still if you really want the best accuracy. You can see here, aiming circle pretty big, but got some incoming fire coming towards us. I really didn't want to sit there and, you know, take it to the face, so shooting on the move it is. Trying to put some on him. Got some torpedoes somewhere. Land warning. So yeah, a lot of the things in here will look very, very similar to what you've seen in World of Warships. So what have they done different? Well, the battleships, for instance, from what I heard, are pretty useful in this game. Oh, one shot? No. Looked like that one was going in, but nope. So the battleships are actually useful. They have the biggest range in the game and they do a lot of damage. And there's actually a very nice feature on the battleships that I will have to show you in some other part after this, after some gameplay. We jump into a training room and take a look at some things. But what you can do is you can actually fire your main batteries as well as your auxiliary batteries separately. So you can fire main battery, switch to auxiliary, and fire again. It's really good if you just want to get that damage in, and really if you get that reload management down and you really get good at managing it and switching between the shell types and the gun types and all that, you can really output so much more damage than if you just fire your main guns. So it's very nice to have. Finally we land a shell there, and we move on here because we don't want to get torpedoed, since everybody has torpedoes. But it doesn't seem to be too bad in the game. They're, I think, pretty much always visible. As far as I've seen so far, they're not sneaky and not non-visible, which I think is a bit of a mistake and why a lot of people just don't like the torpedoes, because by the time you see them, you're often too late. But in reality, torpedoes from this era, they would always pretty much be at the surface of the water, and they would always make a splash, so they should be fairly visible. Maybe not too far away, not max range, but they should surely be visible. Put some shots in. Careful not to hit my ally. Oh, land, break. And I actually dodged those torpedoes just barely. Good thing I didn't run into the land. Put some shells into him. Going to the side here, loaded my torpedoes, and I have to, come on, both my batteries away. Can I actually hit him? Come on, switching back to main battery. Put some more shells in there, looking good. Come on, yes. As you can see, one of them hits, only did 200 damage, so not massive damage from those torpedoes. They're not one-shot kills, but they do a fair amount. It's like 10 times as much as your guns will do, at least at this do. Come on. Most of my batteries can't fire to the rear, so I don't have a good shot at the guy. I'm trying to angle my armor so at least I can get some guns going. They're not very accurate on the move. Oh man, come on. You're getting wrecked here. Come on, let me finish him off. Come on. Ah, shit. I'm stuck. It's not good. He's going behind the land there. I can't quite put a show into him. He's behind land. And that's kind of the screwy thing about this camera. The camera goes up into the air to get your bird eye view, hawk eye view. That's what they call it here. But from that view, it looked like I had a perfect shot on a guy. Oh crap, shit behind me. Ah! Come on. Trying to turn around, trying to get the torpedoes to turn around. Torpedoes in the water. All of them away. And let's GTFO. So these ships do seem to accelerate quite rapidly. Oh, got some nice penning shots there. And more torpedoes coming. Oh, that's a good spread. I'm not going to be able to avoid all of them. Trying to... Nope. Dang it. Yeah, that was never going to happen. So, not a bad game, but let's move over to the next one. And right now I'm actually in the German Tier 1 ship. Try to put some shells in, looking good. One hit. Dang it. So let's see what we can do with this thing. You can see this thing carries torpedoes as well, so pretty much everybody starts out with need more coffee. Everybody starts out with torpedoes as far as I can tell. So what are the differences between this and World of Warships, and why should you bother with this? Well, there are some interesting differences, and what I just mentioned, being able to switch between your main batteries and auxiliary is definitely one of them. You being able to pick your loadout of planes when you're in a airplane carrier ship is pretty unique, that you can actually on the spot change your loadout per squadron. So that's a nice feature. This game is still in development, and sometimes the advantage of a new player on the block is that in order for them to differentiate between them and the already established game, is that they're gonna have to listen to the player base and change things. In a game made by Wargaming, for instance, there's such a huge player base. It's kind of their downfall as well, because at some point they don't really listen to their player base anymore. And the smaller kind of companies, they can still do that. They're still dynamic. They can still change. They can still fix things. So you have a better chance of getting things fixed and working properly and being awesome in here than you have with World of Warships. But on the other hand, World of Warships is a $1 million production, millions of dollars production that, you know, they can just pump more money into as well. So it always has two sides. But so far, the game runs pretty decent, frame rate wise. I don't think I had the best graphics set here. I think I had to restart the game in order to get the best graphics going, but didn't really have time to restart. We were in the middle of stuff, so yeah. So I'm trying to turn this dang thing around here to get a better shot and to realign myself with the ship that's coming up behind us. But I had some issues with trying to steer the ship whenever they were still. They didn't really seem to want to turn at all. And I don't mean that they were sluggish, because, you know, they're not at speed. Of course they don't turn. No, I had issues with them not turning at all. I had some sticky keys. I don't know if you remember that from all the tanks. I don't know, like a year ago, I had issues with sticky keys where your keys would just stick and you would press down on the key and it would still register as being down. Yeah, I kind of had the similar kind of issue in here. It was really annoying. So, this is the last person alive in the enemy team. This was a really bad game for me. Uh-oh. Come on, turn. I think I cleared them. Yep, cleared them all. Great. I'm trying to turn this thing again here. You see my camera wobble there? I was getting pissed because I couldn't turn again. It was going straight. I was hitting the, you know, the A key to turn and just would not turn. So again here, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, hitting the wrong key to switch back. That was the escape, not the one. I'm not sure about leading and that sort of stuff. You know, I'm new at the game, so I still have to learn what kind of lead you have to give for things to actually hit. Put some shots in. I don't know why I'm missing so much. At point blank into his side. It's pretty sad. Put some more shells in. Come on. And he's gone. Let's take a look at the stats. And okay. Torpedo actually goes through allies. Doesn't seem like you can torpedo your allies. That's another big bonus if that's indeed the case. Not sure. It might have been because of the end of the battle. And we did terrible. Yep. Ugh. So, yeah, looks pretty similar to some other games that we've seen. So, now for one of the biggest changes. In case you can't tell, yes, that is a submarine. Yep, they have put submarines in this game. And it seems they have them balanced out somewhat. Ish. Oh, my goodness. Talking this much has made me yawn. I need more coffee. Clearly. So, submarines. They seem, but I have not seen them in random battles. Like I said, I've just installed the game, just started playing it, but they seem like they have them balanced out fairly decently. So what they've done is the diving is a cooldown, so you can only dive once every X amount of time, so you can't just stay under. You have oxygen, so you can't stay under indefinitely, and there he goes under. Little pop-up there is basically the tutorial telling you that you have sonar that will go off once in a while. So he just disappeared, and in a little bit we'll see him reappear. Now, I'm in the tier 5 premium battleship here, which does not have anything, any countermeasure against submarines. So this thing is absolutely screwed against submarines. And there we go, he just got pinged, and there he is. So, yeah, this is not something you want to run across in a battleship, because you will be screwed. Now, if you wonder what would, you know, what the different things is that these ships have, and you have a shallow dive and you have a deep dive. This, what he's doing right now, is a deep dive. He'll go deep down. I'm not sure if anything can hit him at that point. I think they become invulnerable at that point. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they become invulnerable. But It does cost more oxygen, which means they cannot stay under there indefinitely. It is pretty much a oh shit getaway skill. It's kind of like stealth, I guess. Like get away quickly and don't come back. So, next question. What happens if they surface right underneath a ship? There we go. Some damage occurs and he is pretty much stuck underneath me. He can move, but just barely. And because he is in the surfacing cooldown, I guess, he has no other options. There's nothing else he can do right now. He can't surface, he can't dive, so you can actually suffocate him doing this. So if you get an opportunity to stay above him and just let them sit below you, you can actually suffocate him and pretty much make him die. They can shoot torpedoes while they're underneath you like that, but that's about it. So, moving over here, aircraft carriers. Now, one of the other nice features in this game is you can actually switch to your AA. So if you look at the bottom left corner, I just switched to my AA guns and firing my AA, hit one of them. Come on. There we go. We just took out the squadron. Just like that. Now, do keep in mind that I am in a tier 5 and Mizu is in his tier 3 carrier. I do have a scout plane I can send out, so I'm sending him to the area in front of me. So, yeah, there's some awesome features in here. So being able to switch to a different gun, I think, is a nice feature. Being able to switch to AA is really nice. So you do have automatic AA, which you'll see go off here soon as well. So I think there was another squadron coming in here. I'm trying to meet up here. He's running around this corner. Just a moment. There he is. And fire main batteries. Come on. Just gonna see what they do. So this is a salvo for my main batteries, and there's only 2 batteries. You can see the 2 out of 3 icons being green. There we go, AA going off. Dive bombers. Bink. Completely missing. My scout is under attack as well. AA still going nuts. No idea where they're at. I think the torpedo was just dropped in the water. Yeah, that was a torpedo. So, yeah, the aiming of things, where in World of Warships you have the automatic aim, you just click on somebody, you grab your torpedo squadron, and you click on somebody, and they'll just fly, and they'll sort of pre-aim ahead of them and do all that. I'm currently shooting AA while his planes are landing, by the way, trying to shoot him down. Now, one thing I do kind of dislike about this game is that, as you can see, the AA is just firing into the air. The tracers don't actually shoot towards the planes, and that's something I like in World of Warships. You'll actually be focusing fire on the ship that's, at least somewhat, on the plane that's flying overhead. In here, you seem to just fire randomly. Like, AA is going off, yes. There's ships in the area, yes. Fire in any direction. This is more of an animation than actual visual representation of what's going on, and I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity. I mean, I don't want to see my ships, shoot everywhere. I want to see them shoot the squadrons that are flying over. So we got some more squadrons incoming here. I'm just gonna sit here. That's just automatic AA. I'm not gonna shoot them myself. The AA you control is, I feel like, a slightly higher caliber gun. That wasn't too bad. Second one coming in. Engine damaged, but not too bad. I think we got some flooding going. So, let's see. And this is what I mean. See the AA? I mean, both his plane squadrons are over there, right in front of him. I'm currently looking if you can shoot a ship with an AA gun, but apparently it does absolutely nothing. Which is a bit of a shame. I mean, why not? It's an AA gun. You should do something as a ship. Not much, but as you can see, the shells are just disappearing, sadly. So that's not working. Well, let's switch over to our secondary batteries. And I'm really tempted to shoot him in the ass here. The squadron's away. Switching over to AA. Shot down one. And, oh, he got his bombs away. Come on. There goes AA again. I missed. Where are they? And I decide, secondary batteries, fire! So we actually managed to shut down another one of his planes. Do a decent amount of damage with our secondary batteries. So I really like the fact that you can just fire your main batteries, switch your secondary, and while your main are reloading for a long time because, you know, big caliber guns, you can actually put in fire that shoots with like 20 of them at the same time and still do decent damage. Now we're gonna set up for a ram here and see what kind of ramming damage this thing can do. Now, I got a little message there. See, does it say anything? No, not really. Got a little water droplet there with a 3. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I wasn't flooding before, so I don't think I started flooding all of a sudden now. They just repaired my engine, but it might be flooding damage to 3 things. I'm not entirely sure. It's a bit weird. Like I said, I just got this game as well, and I just want to get you, a preview, a sneak peek, if this thing is even remotely interesting, like all my Mystery Mondays are. And I always just want to show you my initial view of the game, and sometimes a little bit more advanced view, but just so you can get a feel for the game. I think I damaged his engine when I shot him in the ass there, so he's not very quick. What were we for him? Oh my. I'm so tempted to shoot him with my main battery. Come on, world's slowest ram. And as you can see here, my main battery is getting cross-eyed at this kind of range. You just cannot shoot with your main batteries. They can't point down far enough. Switching to auxiliary, as you can see, main battery is still reloading, but auxiliary is fully up. He's going for the ram. We took no damage, he took 400. Well, secondary batteries there finish him off. So it doesn't seem like your secondary batteries have any automatic firing like they do in World of Tanks, as far as I can... World of Warships, as far as I can tell. And that was it. That was Steel Ocean. Let me know what you guys think in the description in the comments down below. And thank you, Mizu, for checking this game out with me. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.